I'm Newton Malloy, and I serve on the Rutherford County Habitat Board. We're very pleased to have a guest speaker today who can share a really important aspect of Habitat for Humanity in the community. That of the educational impact on the children of our Habitat homeowners. Linda Gilbert, a former Tennessee Teacher of the Year, is Director of Murfreesboro City Schools, a district focused on the whole child that has earned 3 years of straight A's in the achievement on the state report card. While a graduate faculty member at MTSU, she was the first Scholarship of Teaching and Learning Fellow and received the MTSU Outstanding Teacher Award, as well as the Tennessee Higher Education Commission's State Outstanding Public Service Award. Last year, she received the first True Blue Citation of Distinction for Achievement in Education from MTSU's National Alumni Association. Dedicated to focusing on community service, Linda is a member of various boards and helped establish Read to Succeed, the Mobile Health Unit, the Patterson and Franklin Community Coalitions, and CADCOR to serve children and families. Please welcome Linda Gilbert.
When Newton asked me if I would come speak today, he said that magic word. And that magic word happens to be children. So I want to talk to you a little bit about children today. And I want you to see the faces of children, because I'm going to give you some statistics, but understand that behind those statistics, there's the face of a child, and there's the life of a child, and there's the life of a child who can become a leader, who can, and depending on where that leadership is, makes all the difference. In Murfreesboro City, we talk about two triangles. We talk about the upside down triangle, which means that children are at the top, not the director of schools. Children are at the top. So every decision that we make needs to be about children. But we also talk about another triangle, and that's Maslow's hierarchy. And what we know is that survival is the bottom rung of that ladder. So survival for families is critical. That means things like housing. That means food, a non-threatening environment, and by non-threatening, I'm not talking about just physically non-threatening, I'm talking about emotionally non-threatening. In school, we talk about the fact that children cannot learn if they don't have a non-threatening environment. So that means that they need routines, they need consistency, and that's where you come in, because you provide that consistency. You provide those routines. Children need to know where they're going at night when they leave us. They need to know that they are going to a home, not that they're going to the streets, not that they're going to a motel, not that they're going to be with a family member that will allow them to stay at a spot for so long, or if they're high school students, a friend until that family says, enough, I can't do this anymore. They need to know where they're going. They need to wake up each morning and know that their clothes are in the closets, that there's a breakfast there waiting for them, and that they're ready to go to school. You make that difference. You have that choice to make. You can choose to live in Murfreesboro all your life and never see the children that I'm talking about. In Murfreesboro, we have over about 219 children, I think now, that are homeless. Rutherford County has about over 1,000. Which makes sense because they are a much larger district and they are K-12. We're talking just pre-K-6 for over 200 children. That matters. It makes a difference. So let me give you some statistics about those children. Of children who are homeless under the age of 5, more than 75% have at least one major delay. Most commonly that will come in behavior as far as impulsivity, or it will come in speech. Even before children are born, the impact of homelessness is there. So your children, when they are born, your homeless children, typically are going to have a low birth weight, and they're going to require specialized care at 4 times that of what their peers would have. They have twice the rate of learning disabilities. They are 4 times more likely to show a developmental delay than children who are housed. Language development is limited, and as some of you know, language is really critical to reading. They are sick 4 times more than other children. They have respiratory infections 4 times as high. They have ear infections, twice as many of those. They have 5 times more gastrointestinal problems, 4 times more likely for asthma. And when you're translating that into school, then you're looking at a lot of absences. I can't tell you how many times I have had a call from principals who have asked me to come out because of truancy, and we find that the issue is the children are homeless, so they have moved from school to school. That's why it's critically important for us as an educational system to have consistency in what we are teaching, because if a child is having to move from Siegel to the other side of town to Overall Creek, they have to have that consistency. Thankfully, the law says that children, if they are homeless, can stay in a school for at least that year, so we transport those children. But still, that consistency of where they're going when they leave school is critical. Half of the children who are homeless are held back for at least 1 grade, and 22% are held back for multiple grades. The dropout rate, 4.5 times greater than the rate of their peers from high-income families. By the time a child is 3, we know that 85% of their brain is developed. We know that the consistency of having a home before they hit that age is critical. So again, you make a difference. What happens with the brain development is really you're talking about executive functioning that's being damaged if that child is going to be homeless, if the child is going to have what we call adverse childhood experiences. So it's more difficult for them to solve problems. Now, what we know is with the new standards, the rigor of that problem solving is great. We're not just talking about 2 + 2. We're talking about problems like you solve every day that are multiple step problems. If children are not used to that, they have a very difficult time, so the executive functioning of that brain is critical. They have to remember to stay on top of long-term assignments. They have to problem solve. They have to handle rule adjustments. Children who are homeless are twice as likely to have an emotional disturbance as children who are not homeless. They have 3 times the rate of emotional behavioral disorders than children who are housed. Now, what about the children who are Habitat children? The children who do have homes, the children, what difference does it make when you help build that Habitat home and those families have that consistency of an environment? Well, what we know is that in national surveys, that Habitat homeowners found that 74% of their family's overall health improved since moving to their homes. A 2011 survey found that 57% of adults in the households were furthering their education. If their parents are furthering their education, the model is there for the children. 56% of Habitat homeowners said their children's grades improved. 63% believe their children's study habits improved. 75% said a member of their family is either planning to start or had started or completed a higher education program. 90% of Habitat families report feeling better about their future and their children's future. You were talking about hope? That's hope. So, today, I challenge you. There is a vision out there. Beth Smith had that vision. Thankfully, I had the privilege of knowing Beth very well, and we talked about the vision for Murfreesboro, the vision for Rutherford County. There is a vision of a changed community in which every child has a home. Every child, before they come to school, know where they have come from. When they leave school, they know where they're going. They are not on the streets. They have a closet that has clothes in it. They have tummies that are full, and they're ready for the day. My challenge to you is to see that vision. But it's not just important for you to see that vision, it's important for you to do something about that vision. You can have a vision of a changed community, but unless you are part of that change, unless I'm part of that change, that vision doesn't happen. You made a choice to come here today. You make a choice to see the children. I ask you to continue to make a choice to change the lives of those children every single day. Thank you so much for your commitment. Thank you so much for your heart. Thank you for being able to see the children that others cannot see.